Welcome to another episode of the Coffee Conference Show, powered by the Emerging India Forum TEIF and a tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Series is Sri Shakti. Theme is From Talent to Transformation, Crafting HR Excellence. We have with us Komal Kapoor, a seasoned HR strategist, counselor, and corporate storyteller with over 21 years in human resources. Komal is known for her trailblazing approaches in HR transformation and talent management. She's earned prestigious recognition and awards, including the Women of Excellence Award, Super Women Achievers Award. Komal is the founder and principal consultant at HR LiveWire, where she leads consulting on people strategies, organizational development, particularly for startups, SMEs, and international clients in fintech, travel, and edtech. So, welcome, Komal, to today's coffee conversation.
Thank you, Amir. Thank you so much for having me on this show. I'm so delighted to be part of it. And it's incredible that, you're doing this initiative where, you're getting people together to talk about HR and what's the latest happening to learn from each other. I think it's such a wonderful platform. I've gone through a couple of, episodes of coffee conversation as well as YouTube blogs on your YouTube channel, and I look forward to more. And also, I'm really looking forward to our coffee session today. Yeah.
Okay. So, friends, I'm Lion Amir Virani, host at Coffee Conversation and legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution. So, thank you, Komal. So, we have three formats. You must be aware of two. There is a rapid fire, the fun round, where you have to be fun, witty, and quick. So, you get to win this book, Niche
Okay.
Marketing.
Okay.
So, friends, I'm an author of 15 books. This book will be autographed and sent to you. Please go through. So, yes, Komal, we have got in this 4 years journey over 250 episodes, which we have built up with different subject experts. There are also international speakers, like from the HR world. There is this Ritesh Agarwal. There are many more. So we have taken coffee now to different countries, India also, different places. So yes, we have got now 8 series. So 2025, there will be a lot of more action. So we do in person also. In 2024, we started in person, and yes, speakers have like to be featured in person, that experience. So we are happy to contribute. So let's begin. So, Komal, what inspired you, your initial journey into the HR field, and how has your approach to HR evolved over the years in your 21 journey in short line?
Okay. So my journey into HR, it was inspired by my fascination to understand, people, their, organizational dynamics, especially with regards to, how a human reacts. So since childhood, I've always been very observant of what people do, how they behave, how they are in a particular situation. And also the organization dynamics have always interested me. So I started my career with GE. That time it used to be Jekis. Now it's Genpact. So there I started with the training and development cell, and that's where I was into learning and development, and that's where one of my manager identified sort of and said that you do have the flair to be in actually human resources, because the way you connect with people, you understand human psychology. That's where you ought to be. And that's how I ventured into full stream mainline human resources as a profession. Having said that, when I started my career many years back, there is always a change in paradigm or shift in HR practice. Like when you start your career, you're more into the administrative side, where you're learning the ropes of the trade. Like your on job learning starts right from the point you join an organization. And later on, you move to the execution part. That's what happened, that I started executing whatever tasks were being assigned. And now, for the past few years, I've been on the strategy side, where I've been getting heavily into analytics, and also defining business strategies, people strategies, as to how to be a good business partner to the business, and also take the business up and develop the organization, applying the OD interventions.
Wow. So let's build up a conversation. Uh, so my question will be now people strategies. Could you share some of your most rewarding experience in designing and implementing people strategies for diverse industries?
Yeah. So, there are quite a few strategies, that have really worked and that have helped the organization to grow. First and foremost, has been one of the strategies was, studying the systems and also refining the processes, because it is a common fact or common known principle that whatever gets measured gets improved. So it was very important to understand and how things are right now and where we want to be, and then aligning them with the organizational goal. So that was one of the strategy where every person in the organization where I was working, this was in the manufacturing setup where I started few years back. So the idea was to measure each and every process, identify who your high performers are, who are the ones who are really over occupied with their work, who are less occupied. So identifying a balance and identifying the productivity. So that was one of the initiative which really helped. Another initiative which I'm extremely proud of was that starting an HR hour. This was like to understand what is really happening on the ground, because most of the times we focus on our external customers, what we call like our clients, but nobody really focuses on what is happening on the ground. And most of the times you awaken when the resignation comes at your doorstep. So that was another initiative, actually understanding what are the pain points and involving everybody in the organization and understanding and nipping the issues in the bud rather than later on. So that really helped.
That's very interesting. So now, as you're saying about OD, how do you decide your strategies or steps for OD? So can you give us a walkthrough?
Yeah. So, first of all, of course, there are many good bench marking practices which you can benchmark, and you should benchmark as an HR professional. You need to know what is happening, because you can't just sit in a silo and feel that, I've done it all. So you observe, and then, first of all, you need to understand what is the problems that are impacting any workplace, any organization, any company, because you cannot copy and paste. Every organization has its own DNA. The first process where you begin with your OD intervention tools is actually organizing what are the root causes, learning the whys and the hows, both of it. And you cannot start one thing at one point of time and think that, okay, today I can focus on the performance management and training, I'll do later. Everything has to run in tandem. So that is one of the starting points, how you go about developing your strategies. The competencies play a major role. Your competency framework in any organization which has to really grow, that has to be very robust. So that is one of the areas where you really need to focus on.
Wow. So let's continue. Uh, Talent retention remains a hot topic. What are some of your go-to strategies for creating a positive employee value proposition?
Okay. So, like you just said, that talent is the most critical thing, and everything is about human resources. We can bring as much AI we want in any organization, but then you're basically dealing with robos or you're dealing with chatbots. If you log into any of the banking apps or any of the e-commerce apps, it is kind of frustrating. You're trying to put up something and you're getting robotic answers, but here the human angle is very, very important. So and in any organization is very important that, like, again I'll say that employee needs to be heard, as well as also employee needs to know what is expected out of him or her. The first step is making sure that the expectations are matching. There is not, like, over imposition on unrealistic expectations. And also the employee is comfortable. By comfortable, everybody keeps focusing on the salary part. Monetary part is one of the things that you can tackle. What does not get tackled, or what does not get really addressed, is what the employee is feeling, how the employee is being treated in an organization. So that is very important. That makes a very solid employee value proposition, where the employee is heard and treated well.
Wow. Okay. Now, continuing, how has mentoring HR teams shaped your perspective on the evolving role of HR in today's business world? Oh,
It's been very interesting. Over the years, like, the people I've mentored, I'm extremely proud. They're all doing very well in their careers. But I have learned so much from them. Till date, I learn whether in terms of technology, the latest analytics, or they are very quick. These days, they're very well aware. They're more tech savvy than I was. And they are very prompt. They all know. They're very, very well aware. So mentoring them has been interesting. Also, I have always believed that, whatever the credits you distribute, whatever is the discredit, you take it on yourself, and you need to give them the confidence. Micromanagement is important to the point when you are actually starting with them and understanding them wherever they need the help. Otherwise, you need to let them, operate, work, guide them, let them take decisions. They may fail, they may, that happens to me also at this point of time with anyone. So they need to learn how to take initiatives. They need to be more confident, and you need to instill that confidence that they can afford to make errors and learn but not repeat them. Then it becomes a mistake.
Wow. Okay. Uh, you have an interesting profile also as a corporate accountant. How do you think storytelling influences corporate culture and employee engagement?
A storytelling is very, very fascinating because my favorite subject was history always. History, if you break it, it's his story. And storytelling makes it so much more valued and accepted in any training session. If you go, or if you're generally talking to any person, they are able to relate it more, because then it becomes a bit personal to everyone. They can relate to some point in that story, or the lessons to be imbibed, and they are from the daily walks of life, in your daily working life. And that really, really has much more impact, much more acceptance. I've conducted so many training sessions. Post that, a lot of people have mostly remembered the stories after maybe a year or two down the line, and the momentum is still there, rather than other things, probably the fun games or the other learning. Of course, the idea of a good learning session is that whatever you have imparted, that is put to use in the daily life. But storytelling really helps. It's got a much wider medium, so that makes it very, very fascinating.
Wow. Okay. Another interesting profile. You're being a guest lecturer. So, what key messages do you aim to convey to the next generation of HR professionals?
I always tell them, chase careers, not jobs. You can have as many jobs as you want, but you need to chase a career. You can run after anything. You can say that, okay, XYZ company is offering me this, that, but you really need to actually identify where your career lies. So that is one advice I've always given: chase a career, not a job.
Wow. Okay. Uh, so now another interesting this question. As an external consultant and member of the POSH ICC committee, how do you address complex workplace challenges related to harassment prevention?
Yeah. So, I'm a certified ICC POSH trainer. Um, in any corporate world, there are three types of trainings or sessions that we incorporate. That's a starting point. One is your ICC, that is the internal complaints committee. They need to be trained as to how to handle the cases, what are the timelines they need to adhere to. Then there is a training session we conduct with anybody who's in a supervisory role, irrespective of the gender, male or female, that how they need to treat anyone, especially even if they're giving a feedback, how to ensure that that is not perceived under the purview of sexual harassment. And third is a general talk. Any employee needs to know if something of this happens, or if they've observed something, or what can be construed as sexual harassment. That is very, very important, because half of the times, you don't even know. You may be just talking to somebody, appreciating a person. The person may not like it or take it in a very different way. That can have a very negative implication. Or if somebody is trying to falsely accuse when the person was just trying to help you out, that can also have repercussions. So such kind of trainings are very, very important, and that helps to really mitigate the challenges.
Wow. Okay. Komal, you received multiple awards for HR innovation. So, can you talk about a specific initiative or program that earned you recognition?
Yeah, so we had this program. So we had this talent retention program, which we again called the HR hour, as well as we had a focus where communication was really needed. So by communication, I mean that you make a policy, but you do not communicate it well. A lot of times I always advise, being a consultant to different corporates, is that you really need to audit your processes and do it through an external person, because the moment somebody within the organization is auditing you, there's a lot of bias, and there's a lot of information that can flow either ways, because HR is a very confidential and significant strategic partner. So it is very important that audits happen in a particular way, and then the whatever policy processes you are defining, redefining, they have to be communicated well. So that is one of the initiatives that really really helped us to bring down the attrition, because another thing is, employee engagement surveys are very important. Third initiative which really helped us to win the talent retention award was the exit analysis. A lot of time
Mhm.
people don't give importance to exit interviews. They feel that okay, just fill a form, and or the leaving employee says that I'm leaving the company, I don't have to. But that is the most important point, because that is where you get the best feedback, and that is equally important as taking any employee satisfaction survey. So these are a few of the initiatives that really helped us to get a talent retention award, and we got it at pan Asia level. So that was one of the biggest
Wow,
highs of my career. Yeah.
that's super. So now, Komal, uh, how has experience been working with the team, the employees of the company, and with the stakeholders?
So with stakeholders, I work with startups because they are the ones who need this kind of expertise. So initially there is sometimes resistance, or sometimes there is not much awareness as to why HR is needed, or what is the role of HR. A lot of people have this, oh, HR only conducts rangolis, but that is not what HR does. Unfortunately, a lot of people within HR, they do not feel confident in their own space, and a good HR person is someone who can tell what needs to be known, rather than what they want to hear. They, by they I mean, like, anybody who's in the decision making. So HR has to be a business partner and has to be very candid. So dealing with the stakeholders, first of all you have to establish that kind of trust, that I'm there for you, and this is, we need to have a win-win situation. Nobody is winning by pinpointing. The idea is not to pinpoint, the idea is to identify what way we can improve. So once that understanding, that trust is established, then it is very easy to work with employees. Fairness has to be there. A lot of times HR initiatives are started, but they're not followed through. Sometimes you may cut a birthday cake for one person and you forget for the other one in the team. That is the first point. You have already created a bias in the mind, even if it wasn't an intentional. Or you started a reward and recognition program. First quarter you gave rewards to everyone, and second quarter nobody followed it through. So those are the kind of biases, or those are the kind of initiatives which have to be followed through and through. And that is where that makes a difference.
Wow, superbly you explained. Uh, so now, Komal, who has influenced you from the HR world, or who has helped in shaping your role in the HR field?
I remember when I was 6 or 7 year old, my mother once casually, commented that, I would like Komal to pursue human resources. I didn't even understand that point of time. I was like, I don't even know what human resources, because I was like barely 6, 7 year old. So that is one thing I remember. Probably she had, what these manifested it for me. But otherwise, yes, one of my bosses earlier, leader, I would say, Mr. Dhanraj Badwar, he really guided me, very early on. And he's someone I really look up to, because he really guided my career journey. And there were a lot of things. But in actuality, I learn every day. I even learn from the intern that I have with me, or even, at home, even with my dog, I learn so many things. He's a very clever dog. So I learn so many things, how he strategizes to get a cookie out of everyone. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, very true. Yeah. So now my last question. Uh, with technology shaping the HR landscape, what digital trends do you find most beneficial for people management?
So, analytics play a very, very important role. If a team performance is going down, your analytics or your numbers can really help you in identifying what or why, where it is going. Even in earlier, data with Excel sheets and all, it used to take a lot of time to evaluate. So these days, with the help of AI, you can, evaluate, get reports in a very short span of time. If you want to identify how much the productivity has gone down, or what are your revenues are, or how much you spent on a particular team initiative, it just gives you all the information, or the attrition rate for that matter, or the numbers, or which geography you're really getting hiring your candidates from, maximum amount of employees are coming from which sector, which geography. All this data management is now a piece of cake with AI having stepped in. I always feel that AI is important because it helps ease the things, but still HR should not lose the human element. Again, it's like then there won't be any difference between dealing with a chatbot or dealing with an actual person.
Wow. So now let's go to the next round, the personal round, and understand Komal as a person. Tell us
Okay.
about your family and your formative years.
Okay, so my father, he's an orthopedic surgeon, and he's a author of 7 medical books now. He's on his eighth one. He's almost 80 now, but he is somebody who is working all the time, and I think he's very, very inspiring to me. My mom, she's a nutritionist, and she's the one who's running the home. She's like the backbone of the family. I have a brother. He's an investment banker, so he is somebody I've really, really looked up to during my formative years, because both my parents were always into reading, and there was a culture of reading. So for us, like, more than the toys and everything, not that we were bookworms, we were always like out and about. But our rewards used to be buying a comic, or Sydney Sheldon, or any of the Enid Blyton, sorry, not Sydney Sheldon, Enid Blyton books, and all these were our rewards. So reading was something my parents really inculcated, and that also explains love for going into a world, understanding people, and
Wow.
subsequently. So yeah.
So what is the father's name and your mother's name? So our viewers out there, they can connect later with them.
Sure.
And I will be happy to add to my collection your father's book.
Absolutely, it'll be a pleasure. My father is Dr. Paramjit Singh Kapoor. He has his books all over, like you can even find it on Amazon, and medical books he's written. I'll share the list of his books with you later. My mother, she's Rita Kapoor, and my brother's name is Jagdeep Singh Kapoor. So, like, it's like
Okay, all famous personalities. That's why my team was saying, "Bhai, today's episode is some famous personalities are you doing?" So I keep myself grounded. I
oh
disconnect
no.
myself. Start this coffee. I keep myself disconnected. I don't want. I go into nothingness. So then I can focus on अपना ये रहता है. Okay. So we'll have another conversation for them.
Absolutely, absolutely, it'll be a pleasure.
Okay. What activities or hobbies help you unwind after a busy work week or end of day?
Reading, end of day. I love reading. Even if I'm sitting in a salon, I'll pick up just a piece of newspaper, even if it is about some shares or something which is remotely, or even a label of a shampoo bottle, I'll probably pick it up. Reading really helps me to unwind. And traveling, I love to travel. Every quarter I like to travel for a bit, even if it is just getting away for a week, because that is really unwinding for me. And I love shopping, so that is on a personal level. So, like, even if it is window shopping or online shopping, I'll just shop, so that just helps me to ease.
Okay. So from your traveling expeditions, which is most memorable and why?
My most memorable trip so far has been my travel to Italy, especially to Venice. So that was really fun part. Got to see so many beautiful sights there, and Venice is so beautiful. In fact, I did attend an opera first time in my life, and it was in Italian. We could not understand. My friend was traveling with me. We couldn't understand the word of it, but it was very interesting because in between the different acts of opera, you move to a different room. It wasn't like you're part of one auditorium, so it was different rooms, and there was champagne in between. It was most interesting experience there. So yeah, I would say Venice is one of the most beautiful places. I really loved going there.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Okay. Uh, Are there any personal values that feel strongly aligned with your professional mission in HR?
I am very disciplined. I'm a stickler for rules to the level of being a default or, whatever. I don't like breaking rules, and that is something you really need to walk the talk. As a leader, it's very, very important. If you cannot do something, you cannot ask somebody to do it. And yes, I am not perfect. I may sometimes falter, but I'm very, very disciplined. I'm very punctual. I respect time, and that is something that has helped me professionally also. I always believe in sticking to timelines. And if I'm not able to follow a timeline, I would update a person. But otherwise, also punctuality and showing up on time is extremely important to me.
Yeah. So, how do you celebrate milestones or achievements in your life besides
Uh,
shopping and traveling? New
Besides shopping
things.
and traveling, maybe eating out and taking my team out, whenever. So in fact, in June, one of my team members, she achieved something significant. So we did go to Vietnam for 8 days. So we all traveled
Mhm.
together, but it was a nice team outing. So team bonding is very, very important. That's
Yes, yes, it is. It is. Okay. Are there any unique traditions you follow with family or friends?
Every evening my dad and I, we sit from 7:30 to 9:30. It's papa and me time, and we watch Pakistani serials on YouTube. That is our regimen every day. And once a month we all go out and eat, and lunchtime we try to eat together if we all of us are at home. Otherwise, breakfast together always. That is one thing. And like I said, we all very fond of reading. So reading the newspaper and discussing what's happened during the day, that is something we do as a family. The
Wow.
current events, everything.
Okay. So, which book or podcast is currently inspiring you?
So right now I'm reading The Golden Road by William Dalrymple, and also I recently heard a podcast. Of course, I saw quite a few podcasts of run by the Emerging India Foundation and on YouTube. But one podcast that really inspired me was by Adam Grant. It was about HR in the 21st century. And one book that really inspired me was reading Steve Jobs' biography by Isaacson. So that was really nice.
Wow. That's interesting. So, what role does mindfulness play in your daily life and how has it influenced your approach to HR?
So mindfulness is very important because you need to know yourself first before you start knowing people. So daily in the morning doing yoga and spending time with yourself, that is your me time. I have two me times in a day. One is at night before I go to bed, and one is in the morning when I wake up. I need some time to myself. That is where I plan my day. I'm mindful of everything that's happening around, how I have behaved, even physically or psychologically, spiritually. So, and that really freshens up the mind and sets the tone for the day, and that's what takes the workday forward.
Wow. So how do you keep abreast of, because HR is what you say, people management. So there are different skill sets. What do you say? Have to keep abreast of so many things happening, and now digital has come into playing a major role. So how do you keep abreast of the evolving changes happening?
So again, like podcasts, reading books on HR, reading articles on HR, a lot of blogs, as well as interacting with people. That's very important, especially when you're working with different clients day on day. The new challenges or the new discussions or whatever they're doing in their work area, getting to know. I mean, you can only do well if you know your business well, whether you're in a job or whether you're as a consultant. If you don't know the work area or what's happening in that business, you cannot do your job well. So that really helps. Interacting with people is a and like the Koch principle says, 70% of your job comes your learning comes through on the job. So yes, of course, on the job you learn a lot, and that what also helps you to keep yourself abreast, and attending seminars, going to CI conventions or PhD chamber of commerce or different forums. So that really helps.
Yeah, very true. So as this episode is Sri Shakti, so describe Sri Shakti. What does Sri Shakti mean to you?
So I'll just go back to our mythology or our Vedas or rituals, like I'm a firm believer and a firm follower of Shivji. So he is known as Ardhnareshwar, and he embodies, half feminine energy. So I truly believe in that for any country, civilization, house, industry, business to survive. Feminine energy is equally important. I am not a feminist who would say it's all about female. There always has to be a balance between male and female. We have to pick the best of both. Like, there are some strong points of being a woman, there's some strong points of being a man. Then there has to be amalgamation. And what Sri Shakti means to me is, carrying this torch of, enlightening everyone. Women are generally very strong on intuitions, and applying your intuition and intelligence to make something work, that is, female power.
Beautiful. So let's have some fun. The rapid fire round.
Okay.
One word that describes your leadership style.
I'm a hard taskmaster.
Okay. Uh, Go to comfort food.
Chinese food.
Okay. A city you'd love to revisit again and again.
Venice.
Okay. Uh, Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Let's see.
Coffee. Coffee.
Your favorite Pakistani serial?
Um, Parizad.
Yeah, mine too. Okay. Motivational quote you live by?
Um, Live and let live.
Okay. Your favorite color?
Pink.
Best piece of advice you have received?
Keep your friends close and your enemies closer in a work situation. That's what my brother told me.
Yeah, that's true. So you did well, and you get to receive this book on
Thank
niche
you.
marketing.
Thank you.
I'll autograph and send it to you. Please go through and share with your family. They will some a small contribution which I have from the 15 books.
I'd
So,
love
friends,
to.
it was a lovely conversation, and we'll continue with a panel discussion on HR, which we'll be announcing.
Okay.
And she shared Komal, people-centric strategies, empowering workplace, fostering inclusive, forward-thinking corporate culture. So this is the episode. All HR professionals, uh, upcoming students, and business leaders, watch this episode. And there are many insights she has Komal shared. And if you want to be featured as a guest speaker, visit our website, theimagingindiaforum.com. Fill in the
Okay.
form. Our team will connect with you. We are on LinkedIn, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and we have over 250 plus episodes with different subject experts and thought leaders. So we'll have coffee, conversation over a cup of coffee. So stay safe and we meet soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on this show. Thank you very much.